Is chocolate really flammable?
Molten chocolate. You want a gold brown? You want me just to hit the, like, tip? Just make a nice warm spot for him. If you're not snorkeling, what are you doing?
Now I put it on kind of thick. All right, Squitch. That's tight.
Just make a nice warm spot for him.
Let our bunny sit comfortably.
Just make a nice warm spot for him.
Yeah. Look at him go.
It's a cold morning here in
Oh,
Dearborn,
there he goes.
Michigan.
So is chocolate really flammable? Look at it.
I don't really know.
It smells
guys-
like strawberry though.
Let us know what you think, if chocolate's flammable or not.
Aww.
And look over here.
He's sleeping.
Oliver.
Look at that sad little pile. I knew I shouldn't have said it there. Well, there's a flaming chocolate strawberry bunny for you all.
That happens.
You need to have the blowpipe red hot on the end, guys. So if you can get a little bunny heat to get it going, that's what we want. My name's Chris Nordine. I'm one of the co-founders. 311th show. We started them during the pandemic. We're in Dearborn, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. So this is a molten gather of crystal glass, the consistency of honey, guys. If you're new to the show, we keep about 200 pounds of molten crystal in there hot all the time. And I'm doing one of our new pieces, a signature margarita glass. It's gonna be a different design than your normal margarita glass, you guys. I really want it to be something different. And my biggest point is that whenever you have a margarita glass, it's kind of a lone glass because they're so big and so wide at the top that to put a set of 4 of them in your cabinet is pretty much impossible.
Difficult.
So I'm trying to design a new margarita glass that's a little bit more narrow up on the top, but still serves the purpose of having a cavity at the bottom if you want to have a little bit more tequila in it. And it's gonna be a nice one. This is it.
Yeah, this is one of the first 3 drinks. We'll go into a little bit more detail about that as we get through the show here. But this is the members exclusive piece, the first one of the show. And this is Chris's first attempt at 2025, and we're gonna be prototyping throughout the rest of the week on what we want our first margarita glass signature piece of drinkware to look like. Into the optic mold, 12 ribs, and he blew into the pipe above the camera there, so it expanded into the ribs.
I'm looking to do a pretty heavy-duty optical twist on this vessel. So I'm gonna have Oliver, when the time's right, blowing this in the end of this piece so that the optic twist is consistent and super pimp.
That's the kind of twist we like. Heating it back up to go for a second power twist.
Go ahead and blow, Oliver. Keep going.
That's not satisfying.
Blow lightly.
But look at the teamwork here. You got Oliver bringing the air. Chris is
Good.
shaping the vessel, being very aware of what he's looking for in the length, because he did mention he wanted to have that little bulbous zone down in the bottom, the old tequila reservoir.
Yep.
And so that's what he's shooting for here.
That's all about getting it real hot. The body of the vessel needs to be hot when you're going with the jacks so you can get it nice and tight. And you're kind of working against those optics, the optic twists.
Our sign's not on, but that's it. You gotta have it hot.
Cap it.
Capping.
Okay, off. Blow.
So important for Chris's left hand to be
Blow
robotically
harder.
spinning here. If you're not spinning back and forth at the exact same amount, that neckline will go in, that crease will go in totally
Good.
square, and it'll totally mess up the shape of that. So he's got to be pretty smooth with his hands there.
Beautiful. All right, we're gonna take a purple foot. We're gonna drop it right down to the bottom. It's gonna be a Venetian one. I'm gonna tap it on real good, and then I'm gonna have you paddle it while we crank it out.
And Oliver, as you focus and bring Chris the perfect bit of glass.
Hey everybody, my name's Oliver. I'm an apprentice here at the Glass Academy.
I want to be a single-hander.
molten chocolate.
He's also the class coordinator and facilitates with Donna up in the office all the scheduling and organization of all the hands-on experiences that we teach here at the Glass Academy, which is incredible, amongst many other miscellaneous tasks like hanging doors up in the ceiling. So let me get a close-up here.
Press.
Sounds great. I'm Jacob behind the camera. This is kind of how we do it here. We're bouncing around, and not only do we blow glass, but there's a lot of studio to be handled. The Michigan room's looking amazing, glistening over there.
So that's a purple wrap on the lip to match that foot. The chartreuse lime green body, which is super margarita style.
There is something to be said, which we've learned about and thought about, started talking about more and more, about transparency in glass and opacity.
It is important to make sure you got a nice dark lip, and I got this dark, deep, transparent purple so that when you do put it into the salt, it looks like glistening action.
Good call.
This is it right here. We got to put a GA stamp on it. I think we're going to stick it on the side. That thing is beautiful. And you got the nice dark lip wrap for the salt around the rim. And I bet you I'm going to say that's probably about an 18-ounce glass.
That knocked off beautifully. Oliver's got the torch. See that torch probably burns up to, what would you say, like 3,000 degrees?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's a hot torch, but he's just blasting it just to smooth out the
ready
bottom.
for ya.
We don't need the stamp down there, but we don't want a sharp spot.
Right side bottom.
And Chris is taking it over to the box.
Oh yeah.
Nice piece.
Safe
There
and
we
sound.
go.
She's in there.
You're about to see what we do
That's right.
on this Tuesday night.
The other cool thing about this mug, Jake and I are going to be trading up right in the middle of the piece. I'm going to blow the vessel, and I'm going to put an optically twisted handle on it, or maybe Jake might be, and then Jake's going to add a ram head. A ram like a ram, and it's going to be a ram thumb bit up on the top, which is going to be pretty cool looking. And we're talking like the two that you see on National Geographic get up on their hind legs and crack their heads together.
So that's what we're going to do. And I have to believe that the idea of this ram on the thumb saddle came from the fact that last year's signature creature was the sheep, and we also made ram. So we are acquired in the taste of ram head sculpting. Chris took a pretty darn large, was that one gather?
One gather.
That was a nice, powerful gather right there. And it was crystal clear glass until he coated it with those 3 layers of a opaque white. And now he's got a bubble in there. He swung it out. The white's all completely melted in. And he's getting this prep to go into the same mold he used on the last piece. However, over here, Oliver has prepped up the rollers. Where Oliver's got, actually we pulled out some bar colors, some very dense, ultra concentrated, gold brown, metallic glass color. This color is going to look really dark, but we needed it this dense to do this particular pattern.
Flip.
At the very end of the piece, we'll iridize it, and it's going to become super metallic. But look at how perfectly that was brought by Oliver. Chris is laying it on there as thin and as even as possible. And he's really not trying to let it get too hot that it falls down into the valleys of all those 12 ribs. And then he can take this over to the hole. You notice that he's turning really fast. And in the flame, he's got that burner put right onto the side of the piece. it splits all of those little strands of that deep metallic color. You might need to give them some air though in a second. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So now I'm going for length, and I'm thinking of, now the color patterns on there, I'm thinking about the overall shape of the mug.
Oh yeah.
Blow lightly.
Listen to that sound.
The chatter. So I made it a little bit bigger of a vessel because I know I'm going to flatten that bottom down. Want to get the neck tightened up a little bit, and then I'm going to heat up just the bottom.
All right, we have a question from Facebook.
Bring it. Technical question. Technical question.
The blue light special. The technical question, the blue light special.
From Hannah.
Champion.
Can you blow when the piece is in the glory hole?
Ooh.
And if not, why?
That's a really great question, Hannah. Awesome question. And it's cool hearing the technical questions that are from first-time viewers, so we get back to the basics, but it's also cool hearing some questions from some members that have been around for a little bit. And I can tell, Hannah, you've been paying attention, obviously. The reason that we don't often blow into the pipe, wow, look at that down there, in the glory hole is because the heat is coming from one side. And even though you're turning the pipe, when you've got the heat right there, blasting into the side of the hole, and you're turning it, there's one side that's going to be hotter instantly in that moment. And the difference of 2 seconds of heat, especially when the flame's directly on the piece, will make a really big difference in the way and the area that it expands out when you blow into the pipe.
And there are a few unique
Instances.
circumstances when you do blow glass in the glory hole. For example, when you're doing a collar off the end of a blowpipe,
Yes.
and you blow a bubble and then you blow it really big so that it just melts away, and you have an open donut collar on the end of your pipe.
Totally.
And that's for picking up color, for doing overlays, maybe doing a crown punny.
Little tap. Oliver's got the piece. Look at that. Oh, is it my turn?
So do you want to put the optically twisted handle on?
I would love to be involved.
All right, well, I'll take the camera and you can take the piece.
Live
the switch
action.
up was live.
Thought we could make it a little easy on everybody.
Let me just get
Thank
acclimated to this thing. It's perfectly straight. It's got good heat. I see the punny glowing a little bit.
Now, you are going to be mounting a ram head with horns on the top of the handle. So
That's right.
keep in mind that not to go all the way to the top with the handle, right?
Right. A little shorter, a little wider, so that we can get that right in there and not have it peeking over the top.
And I purposely left it tapered at the top a little bit so that Jamie would
Nestle it
get
in there.
the ultimate flow of the liquid.
I don't know, Oliver. Might need a little more.
Might need a little more glass there, Ollie.
Well, all right then. Fine.
So Oliver's going into the optic
You're
mold.
good.
This is an optically twisted
And
rope
taper it down
handle, they're
after.
called. And he's going into the optic
little
mold
bit.
right now.
Twist like a champion. Beautiful handle, Oliver.
Look at that puppy. Beautiful rope pattern, 20-point mold. It looks ram head worthy to me.
And this is going to be a historical piece. I don't know whose hair it is, but I think it's Oliver's.
A big orange one?
Yep, half of it laid down and burnt right into the side of the piece, right there. We're going for a ram's head. It's just 2 power horns.
Jake's the artist at this point in time. He's designing and he's making the ram's head.
This is it. Let's
He's
do it.
made a lot of ram's heads, and I've made no ram's heads.
That handle
so Jamie,
looks
that's
good.
why I passed the buck and handed it to Jake. And that's probably why Oliver's orange hair fell all over the side of the piece.
It's been a minute since we've done a custom order on the show. We've really gotten into a rhythm of designing our own pieces on the show.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with how that goes down, you actually send an email to Jake through the Glass Academy contact page.
Few codes.
And he will communicate with you and design and work out your custom piece, and we do it live on the show. Now, the coolest thing about it is Jamie, he's permanently inscribed in the 311th show. Let's get in here and get on this horn action.
Steady.
Here we go. There's the hornification. Boom.
Now, it's not metallic yet, so it kind of just looks like black on black. Yeah, let's go for a stamp.
All right, we got the GA stamp. Everything we make here at the Glass Academy has a GA stamp on it, guys. This particular one is going to be right by the handle, the base of the handle, where we put them by all of our mugs.
So we're going to do this heat and not too much reduction because we got the white on the body and the white will burn. We got to find the perfect sweet spot between the amount of gas in the hole and the amount of time that I'm in the hole to make those spots and the horns become a deep metallic, super purple, out of control color. Probably do 2 on the lighter side. I think it should make it happen beautifully. Oh yeah, there's one.
Starting to happen.
Look at the horns. Look at that curl on the horn.
Yeah.
Makes it look more ram-like.
So we got a little water on the punny. This punny's going to come off good.
Straight out the Natty Geo. Watch this.
Barely had to touch it, guys. All right, get it in there.
I'm getting it in there. Let's go.
Into the oven. Through the tropical forest we go. Going in annealer number 4, which is sitting at about 1,000 degrees, guys. That's where all the glass we make all day long goes in the annealing oven. Nice job, Jake.
That's a sweet collab piece. So Chris has got some molten glass on the end of the pipe now. We talked about the second drink, which is going to be a rocks glass of some sort for the old-fashioned. Is that what you're working on here?
Yeah.
Got it.
So we've got a margarita, we got a dark liquor power drink, and then we've got our beautiful botanical, super piney, delicious, refreshing gin and tonic. And that's going to be the third glass of the show. And Chris has gone into the mold. He's put white in the cracks. He's put gold brown in the cracks. And now it looks like he's just dunked, although that looks like a deep blue, I promise you that's our deep, powerful purple.
The perp.
The perps.
So this is gonna lean towards having a beautiful purple lip wrap on it as well. To tie in with that purple only on the bottom, with the white and the gold brown dusted in the cracks.
This is one of the drinks that you really do want to see the color of what you're working with.
I wanted to get a little bit of undulation, but not much with that optic. And I'm gonna be gathering over this. Hello? Good.
Beautiful purple line on the bottom. Just such a light coat, and he got it perfectly halfway up the glass. And Chris is really shaping this up more than maybe even you saw with the margarita glass or a lot of other glasses because of the thickness that he's trying to manipulate here. And you see this heat right here now. He's letting the top stiffen up. It's thinner glass. So he's really going to focus the heat on just the bottom half. And I imagine at some point we're going to be going for a little cabbage and squash.
All right, cap it, Jake.
Coming in for the cap.
Oliver press. Got a nice, clean, crisp
That's
bottom.
super tight.
So
Look at
nice.
that thickness all masked up down there.
Now we're gonna puff it. I'm gonna puff it a little bit on the neck
When you flip it around.
so that I thin that neck out real nice. All right, we are ready for the punty.
Look at that, folks. Just get a good look at it. Look at that swirl down the middle. Look at that. Holy son of a gun.
Just look right at it.
Love the way that
Wow. The crisscross.
light bled out.
I like the way you look at the back lines going the opposite way, and it almost looks like you've got a diamond pattern when you look through the glass.
Yeah.
It's not just a white. He actually put gold brown on top of the white, and then he iridized it before encasing it in clear. So I believe that's why the white doesn't look as like enamel striking to the eye.
That gold brown, when it's reduced and gathered over, has got a really beautiful milky cloudiness to it.
That's a beautiful piece, Dad. Yes. Away it goes with the claw. It's 1,000 degrees in that box, filled up
Alright.
with handmade product. And
Got
that's
it
a
in there
beauty.
safe and sound.
Nice piece.
All right, so this is going to be my version of a idea for a pretty cool gin and tonic glass.
So this is crystal clear glass. Chris is shaping up on the table. Here comes the bubble, a little bit of air. It expands into the glass. It's hollow now. Uh-oh.
No way.
No, he didn't. Look at that. Can you explain what went down there? Because it happened pretty fast.
I dipped it in the water and got a crackle effect, and I specifically only got it crackled up to the very top so that the top where your lip's at is nice and smooth. So you can take a peek at that up close. And we got a nice smooth section right here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of undulation in it. Oliver's bringing me a nice slimliner chartreuse green, and just one coat of that's gonna be fine. And nice and hot.
Light and fluffy.
You know, no marvering, nice and creamy and hot. I want this thing to simulate pine.
Pine?
Have a little bit of a piney slash, what's the other word that gin's made out of?
Juniper?
Juniper style.
The berries?
Yep.
So Chris went for the solid foot down here on the bottom.
All right, we're gonna punty this baby now. Now the trick to having that water crunch crackle action is to make sure that you don't melt it away. You want it to still be, you know, very visible and texturous. And I also wanted to make sure that I pushed this foot so I got a little bit of a rounded edge on it, which looks real clean.
I gotta wonder how that sounds when we make those noises coming through the, you know, the YouTube TV screen.
Molten chocolate. You want a gold brown? You want me just to hit the, like, tip? If you're not snorkeling, what are you doing?
Now I put it on kind of thick. All right, Squitch. That's tight.
Hurt.
The perps. Light and fluffy.
Nice and creamy and hot.
All right, let's get the knockoff from this angle and see Oliver's hands as he takes it away. Oh, yeah. Oh, you just love that sound.
Ooh.
All right, this is where it's all gonna get crazy now.
Uh-oh. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I don't like those eyes, Chris. I don't put those eyebrows down.
Got to get it hot deep, but not too hot that you lose the cracks.
Oh, snap. Whoa. That's right.
One of a kind.
Wow. I can actually see my hand fitting right into that crevice.
That is undulation, and that is super cool.
Wow.
I love it because it's completely symmetrical and asymmetrical at the same time.
It's like an ice cube.
Yeah,
It is like an
I mean,
ice
it
cube.
looks like it's gonna quench some thirst. I love the chartreuse green foot with a really nice little tiny fragile one up top. That's gonna rest right on your lip,
Oh, yeah.
and there's no cracks up there.
Great G&T flow.
Get right in there. That nice light knockoff.
Just delicate.
Just fell right off.
In the box.
Oh yeah. That's a nice one
Chris.
in there.
Excellent.
I love that one, man, and that thing is thin.
Yeah.
Thin, it feels nice. It's gonna fit in your hand probably 6 different ways.
Let's go catch up with Jake, see what he's doing. Jake, you ready for us? The first drawing of today.
So I wanted to show and highlight, this is going to be the piece that I'm going to make. This is the gin and tonic, and I know what I don't like about the traditional G&T glasses. I love when you've got this placement for your hand to go and you don't have the sweat coming down on the table. You're not worried about drinking it quick. There's this weird halo of like looks like a radioactive light blue, really close to being just clear in the body so you could see what's going on. But to highlight that, I'm gonna do a little bit of gold, but I might even just do it clear actually. I think I'm going to. I wanted to put a Maurice underneath here of copper blue. I'll show you when we do it. It's gonna be a small little patty hidden. You look at it sideways, you won't even see it. That blue is gonna radiate up and it might even pull out that color that's kind of hidden. Classic, clear, sweet situation. It could even be just a blue Ovolio. But this is going to be a basket weave for multiple reasons because it's fun to do. This is your traditional gin and tonic glass that they serve to you when you go to any typical bar. It's a little wider than that, but that's the shape, and I say that shape is boring as heck.
I think that's a bowling alley style.
Here's the bubble into the crystal clear glass.
So he is going into the optic mold twice, folks. It's called a broken mold. That's what it's called, a broken optic. It's where you're breaking the optics.
So this will be cool to see, especially because it's clear. You're going to see the optics really well.
It's clear and basket weaved?
Yeah. And this is a basket weave for not a color pattern. This is for the texture, which means I need to do it even stronger so I don't melt it away. You know, I need to just hit it, blast it, twist it, blast it, and make it happen.
Watch this, guys.
Just a little nub grab, going to the bucket.
He was getting a good twist on it. Now that he's got that twist, he's gonna go into the mold with that twist.
I'm gonna give this a super twist one more time first.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
Sometimes when they're chubby, they are more optical.
Oh, blow real light. Good. Now that's what I like.
This is a pretty neat technique. He's gonna do the same thing, and then are you gonna twist it again?
Yes.
So you're going for the double twist-a-rooney.
Super double, super blast, twist.
We
I
take
did
it to
say.
Italy, it's the twistolini.
That's right.
Man.
So these guys get the look. Bring it up. Hold it.
I don't got that much time.
All right, get in there.
What, do you need it hot or something?
Puff. Blow hard. Stop. Stop. Blow light. With elegance. Thank you.
So
Blow.
the skill is really in the cam work when you can do this, you guys, right from
Good.
the hot piece to the drawing. That's what he's making right there. So what color was that you said you're going to be putting? The copper blue or the
We're going to put
optical?
a copper blue Maurice on this, and then we'll do a clear Ovolio, and we'll do a clear foot. Blow light. Copper blue Maurice on there. Drop it over top. I'll squish it on there, flatten it, then grab a fresh pipe, and we'll do a clear Volio.
Soupy. Isn't Supio a technique, a glass blowing technique?
It is the Supio cup.
Yep. All right, he's getting ready, folks. He's gonna be putting this little Maurice on, which is an optical Maurice. It's really gonna be on there just to have a nice optical glow of this color.
That's just incredible. Nice hot bit, Oliver. That was soupy.
That baby went on there.
Yeah, it did.
You said soupy, man. He brought it in like
soupy.
minestrone.
First Volio in quite a while. Now I put it on kind of thick. It's not going to be a delicate situation. We're going to be using these glasses at the bar potentially. Oliver will go right for a paddle here. But I just want to make sure that it's nice and secure. All right, Squitch.
You saw it right here, guys, right over Oliver's
up.
shoulder, bursting into flames.
That's good.
A volio, for those of you who don't
Thank
know,
you.
it means spool in Italian, and it's the connection point between the stem and the foot, right there.
Could wrap some thread right around it.
A little bit of Oliver's hair. Dropping a foot on now, and this one also needs to be very soupy, not mastacholi-like, but more minestrone-like. This is the creamy right here.
Holy son
Boom.
of a gun. We got it. That was serious. I think it's gonna be perfect. Squish a little bit.
So this is Jacob's gin and tonic glass, folks, and it's got a beautiful optically blue core Maurice right in the bottom so that it shines up through the sparkling tonic water.
And that's just pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Smell my finger.
Jake's gonna be ripping this puppy open right now with Oliver on the lip wrap, right on the lip with the wood. Look at that.
It's not 100% the shape I was going for. I would have, as the drawing shows, I would have liked to swing it out a little more and puff that bottom out a little bit, but I knew that was gonna be a difficult move with the basket weave because the more you heat up the bottom and stretch it and swing it and then reheat it and puff it out, you lose more and more of that basket texture. I took one heat less in order to keep the texture on there nice, and I still think it's a really good shape, and I might have to just try a gin and tonic out of it before we ship it.
Oh yeah, that's a nice looking piece
nice
right
shape.
there.
Kind of tough to be simple and clean with it like that when we have such a color wall of options. And we appreciate you guys. This is The Gathering Point. Subscribe to the show, and we will catch you guys next week.
Boom. Nice.
Molten chocolate. You want a gold brown? You want me just to hit the, like, tip? Just make a nice warm spot for him. If you're not snorkeling, what are you doing?
Now I put it on kind of thick. All right, Squitch. That's tight.
Just make a nice warm spot for him.
The perps. Light and fluffy.
Nice and creamy and hot. The twistolini.
Smell my finger.